Before you buy another fertilizer, before you blame the weather, before you wonder why your plants aren't thriving, pause. Because the biggest mistake most gardeners make isn't what they add to their plants. It's what they throw away. Every day, you might be discarding the very thing your soil is desperately lacking. And while you search for expensive solutions, the real answer has been sitting quietly in your kitchen, your yard, and beneath your feet. If you truly want stronger roots, faster growth, and long-term abundance, you need to understand one powerful truth. Plants don't struggle because they lack products. They struggle because we misunderstand what they actually need. Let's fix that. 1. Plants don't just need fertilizer, they need living soil. Most people believe plant growth comes from feeding the plant directly. They see a yellow leaf and immediately think, I need more fertilizer. They want faster growth, so they add more nutrients. It feels logical. After all, plants need nutrients to grow. But this way of thinking misses the most important part of the entire system. Plants do not eat fertilizer the way humans eat food. They cannot absorb most nutrients in their raw form. Instead, they rely on a hidden underground network that works silently beneath the surface. This network is made up of billions of microorganisms: bacteria, fungi, protozoa, nematodes, and other microscopic life forms. These living organisms break down organic matter and transform it into nutrients that plant roots can actually absorb. In other words, the soil is not just dirt, it is alive. When soil is rich in organic matter, it becomes a thriving ecosystem. Microorganisms feed on decomposing materials such as kitchen scraps, dry leaves, compost, and natural plant residues. As they digest this material, they release nutrients in plant-available forms. At the same time, beneficial fungi form partnerships with plant roots, extending their reach deeper into the soil and increasing their ability to absorb water and minerals. This natural exchange system is far more efficient than simply pouring synthetic fertilizer into the ground. When you throw away organic materials like vegetable peels, fruit scraps, coffee grounds, grass clippings, or fallen leaves, you are not just discarding waste. You are removing future food for soil life. Without organic matter, microbial populations decline. When microbial life declines, nutrient cycling slows down. When nutrient cycling slows down, plants struggle, even if fertilizer is present. Healthy, living soil improves nutrient absorption because microbes unlock minerals that would otherwise remain trapped in the soil. It strengthens roots because loose, organic-rich soil allows roots to grow deeper and wider. It increases disease resistance because beneficial microbes compete with harmful pathogens, creating a protective environment around the root zone. It supports steady growth because nutrients are released gradually instead of flooding the plant all at once. When soil loses its life, plants become dependent on constant external feeding. But when soil is alive, it becomes self-supporting. The system works naturally and efficiently, just as it does in forests and wild ecosystems where no one applies fertilizer. The real secret to powerful plant growth is not feeding the plant more. It is building soil that can feed the plant for you. When you focus on enriching soil with organic matter, protecting microbial life, and avoiding practices that damage soil structure, you create a foundation that supports long-term strength and resilience. The healthiest gardens are not built from bottles and bags. They are built from living soil. 2. Roots are the true engine of growth. When people look at a plant, they focus on what they can see. They admire the leaves, the flowers, the fruits, and the height. If something looks wrong, They examine the surface, yellowing leaves, weak stems, or slow growth. But what most gardeners forget is that everything happening above the soil is a reflection of what is happening below it. Roots are the true engine of plant growth. Think of roots as the plant's foundation, supply system, and communication network all at once. They anchor the plant firmly in place, absorb water and nutrients from the soil, store energy, and even send signals that influence how the plant grows above ground. If the root system is weak, no amount of fertilizer sprayed on leaves can fully fix the problem. Healthy roots require oxygen, moisture balance, loose soil structure, and organic matter. When soil becomes compacted, roots struggle to expand. Compacted soil limits airflow, and without oxygen, roots cannot function properly. It's similar to trying to breathe in a closed room with no ventilation. Roots suffocate slowly, and growth above ground becomes stunted. Water management is equally important. Roots need consistent moisture, but they also need air spaces in the soil. When soil is constantly waterlogged, roots can rot. When soil is too dry and lacks organic matter, roots shrink and become stressed. Organic material improves soil structure by creating tiny pockets that hold moisture while still allowing airflow. This balance is what strong roots depend on. Strong roots also mean deeper roots. A shallow root system depends heavily on frequent watering and constant feeding. A deep root system, on the other hand, can access water and nutrients stored deeper in the soil. This makes plants more drought-tolerant and resilient during environmental stress. Deep-rooted plants are stronger during heat waves, wind, and irregular watering because they are not dependent on surface conditions alone. Roots also work closely with beneficial fungi called mycorrhizae. These fungi attach to roots and extend far into the soil, acting like an extended root system. In exchange for sugars from the plant, the fungi deliver minerals and water that roots might not otherwise reach. This partnership dramatically increases nutrient efficiency and plant strength. But this relationship only thrives in healthy, living soil. When gardeners constantly disturb the soil, overuse chemicals, or ignore organic matter, they weaken the underground system. And when the underground system weakens, the visible part of the plant pays the price. If you want taller plants, larger fruits, stronger stems, and more vibrant leaves, the solution is not always adding more nutrients. The solution is building stronger roots. Protect soil structure. Add organic matter. Avoid compaction. Water wisely. Because once the roots are powerful, the plant no longer struggles to grow. It rises naturally, supported by a foundation that works silently and efficiently beneath the surface. 3. More is not better. Balance is everything. One of the biggest mistakes gardeners make is believing that if a little is good, more must be better. More fertilizer should mean faster growth. More water should mean healthier plants. More sunlight should mean bigger harvests. It sounds logical, but plants do not grow based on excess. They grow based on balance. Plants live within a delicate system where nutrients, water, oxygen, sunlight, and microbial life must work together in harmony. When one element is pushed too far, the entire system becomes unstable. Growth may appear rapid at first, but it often leads to weakness, disease, or long-term damage. Take nitrogen as an example. Nitrogen is essential for leafy growth, and when applied correctly, it helps plants produce lush green leaves. But when too much nitrogen is added, plants grow too quickly. The stems become soft and weak, leaves become overly tender, and the plant becomes more attractive to pests and diseases. Instead of strength, you create vulnerability. Water works the same way. Water is critical for transporting nutrients and maintaining plant structure. But overwatering fills the air spaces in the soil, cutting off oxygen to the roots. Without oxygen, roots begin to suffocate and rot. The plant may look wilted, not because it lacks water, but because its roots are no longer functioning properly. At the same time, underwatering stresses the plant, slows nutrient movement, and limits growth. The solution is not constant watering, but consistent, balanced moisture. Even sunlight, which fuels photosynthesis, must be balanced. Too little light results in weak, stretched growth. Too much intense exposure can scorch leaves and stress the plant. Each species has an optimal range, and exceeding it does not improve results. While balance also applies to soil inputs. When synthetic fertilizers are applied repeatedly without adding organic matter, soil structure deteriorates over time. Microbial populations decline, and the soil becomes dependent on constant external feeding. This creates a cycle where plants appear to need more and more fertilizer each season. In reality, the soil ecosystem has been weakened. Natural systems thrive because they recycle and regulate themselves. In forests, nutrients are returned through fallen leaves and decomposing matter. Nothing is wasted, and nothing is overloaded. The system maintains equilibrium. When you focus on balance instead of excess, growth becomes steady and sustainable. Nutrients are released gradually. Roots develop strength. Soil retains structure. Plants build natural resilience rather than artificial speed. The goal is not to force rapid growth for short-term results. The goal is to create conditions where plants can grow at their optimal pace, supported by a stable environment. More is not better. Balanced is better. When every element works together instead of competing, plants do not just grow. They thrive consistently, season after season. 4. What you call waste is actually plant fuel. In most homes, organic leftovers are treated as garbage. Vegetable peels go into the trash. Fruit scraps are thrown away. Dry leaves are burned or bagged. Grass clippings are removed from lawns. Coffee grounds are discarded without a second thought. We label these materials as waste simply because we no longer have use for them. But in nature, there is no such thing as waste. Every fallen leaf, every dead plant, every organic remnant becomes part of a continuous cycle. In forests, no one cleans the ground. Leaves fall, branches decay, and over time they break down into rich, dark soil. That soil becomes the foundation for new growth. The system feeds itself. When you throw away organic material, you interrupt that natural cycle in your own garden. Those kitchen scraps and yard leftovers are not useless. They are future nutrients. They are microbial food. They are soil conditioners waiting to be transformed. As organic matter decomposes, microorganisms go to work. Bacteria and fungi break down complex materials into simpler compounds. During this process, nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, and trace minerals are slowly released into the soil in forms plants can absorb. Unlike synthetic fertilizers that deliver a sudden surge, decomposing organic matter provides a steady, controlled release of nutrition. Organic material also improves soil structure in powerful ways. In sandy soil, it increases water retention, helping the soil hold moisture longer. In heavy clay soil, it improves drainage and creates air pockets that allow roots to breathe. It reduces compaction and makes the soil easier for roots to expand through. Over time, soil rich in organic matter becomes darker, softer, and more fertile. Another important benefit is moisture regulation. Organic matter acts like a sponge. It absorbs water during rainfall or irrigation and releases it gradually as the soil begins to dry. This reduces plant stress and creates more stable growing conditions. When you compost or return organic materials to your soil, you are not just disposing of leftovers responsibly. You are investing in long-term fertility. You are building a system that strengthens itself year after year. Every banana peel, every handful of dry leaves, every bit of plant residue carries stored energy from the sun. Through decomposition, that stored energy returns to the soil and fuels the next generation of growth. What you call waste is actually plant fuel. When you begin to see organic matter not as trash but as a resource, your entire approach to gardening changes. Instead of constantly buying inputs, you start creating fertility from what you already have. Nature never wastes. It recycles, rebuilds, and renews. The moment you follow that same principle, your soil becomes richer, your plants become stronger, and your garden becomes more sustainable. 5. Healthy soil creates long-term abundance. Many gardeners focus on quick results. They want faster growth this week, bigger leaves this month, and heavier harvests this season. So they look for rapid solutions, strong fertilizers, fast-acting boosters, and instant fixes. While these methods may produce temporary improvements, they rarely build lasting strength. True abundance does not come from quick fixes. It comes from healthy soil. Healthy soil is not just soil that contains nutrients. It is soil that functions as a living, balanced ecosystem. It contains organic matter, beneficial microorganisms, proper structure, moisture balance, and active nutrient cycling. When all of these elements work together, the soil becomes more than a growing medium. It becomes a self-sustaining foundation for continuous growth. When you consistently return organic matter to the soil, you are building long-term fertility. Each season, decomposed materials increase humus levels. Humus improves nutrient retention, meaning the soil holds on to minerals instead of allowing them to wash away. This creates a natural reserve that plants can access gradually. Instead of constantly adding more inputs, the soil begins storing and managing nutrients efficiently on its own. Healthy soil also strengthens plant immunity. In living soil, beneficial microbes compete with harmful pathogens, reducing the likelihood of disease outbreaks. Strong root systems develop in well-structured soil, making plants more resilient against drought, temperature fluctuations, and environmental stress. Over time, plants growing in rich soil require fewer interventions because they are naturally supported. Another powerful benefit of healthy soil is stability. Chemical-heavy systems often create dependency. Plants grow rapidly but become reliant on repeated applications. In contrast, biologically active soil improves each year. The more you nurture it, the better it performs. Harvests become more consistent. Growth becomes more reliable. Problems decrease rather than increase. Long-term abundance means thinking beyond one growing season. It means asking not only, how can I improve growth today, but also, how can I improve the soil for years to come? When soil health becomes your priority, everything else aligns naturally. Nutrients cycle efficiently. Water management improves. Root systems expand deeply. Plants grow with strength rather than fragility. Nature demonstrates this principle clearly. In untouched ecosystems, the soil builds gradually over decades through continuous organic recycling. No synthetic inputs are required. The system sustains itself because the foundation remains strong. When you protect and nourish your soil, you create the same effect in your garden. Instead of chasing rapid growth, you cultivate lasting productivity. Instead of reacting to problems, you prevent them at the root level. Healthy soil does not just grow plants. It builds abundance that compounds over time. Chica, the more you invest in it, the more it gives back. Season after season, year after year. Here is a golden, beautiful, and powerful outro to close your script. Before you look for the next shortcut, remember this. The real power of your garden has never been in a bottle or a bag. It has always been in the soil beneath your feet. When you stop chasing quick fixes and start building living, balanced soil, everything changes. Growth becomes stronger. Harvests become heavier. Problems become fewer. And your garden begins to work with you instead of against you. Abundance is not created overnight. It is built layer by layer, season by season, through simple, consistent care. So stop wasting what nature designed to recycle. Start feeding the soil, strengthening the roots, and restoring balance. Because when the soil thrives, the plants don't just grow, they flourish. And once you understand that, you'll never garden the same way again. I'll see you in the next lesson.